Good morning, Bishop Peter.
Morning, Mark.
And welcome to this exciting episode of Faith Questions with Bishop Peter.
Thank you.
Our topic today is the DMAP, the Diocesan Mission Action Plan. And it's been around since, I believe, November 2021, so well over a year now that we've been working on that. What are your impressions, your top of mind comments on the DMAP at this point?
I'm thrilled that across the diocese there's a unity around we have got to be active in mission. We need to learn stuff where we have training needs in a parish. We need to look at how we're doing things in our parish, in our regions, across the diocese and across the diocese as a whole. There's been really great engagement from leaders in ministry units in parishes at the cathedral. They've been inviting you in to do things. We've had really good engagement in our senior committees, standing committee and church property trustees, for example, as we look at what does it mean to be better geared for mission in our diocese. Is there property that we might need to sell, for example? And a number of ministry units are looking at that and making decisions. And we're selling some of these properties not because we need money, we often do, but because we're recognising that if we have too many buildings, we've got a lot of time being focused on buildings when we want to be focused on people and sharing the gospel with them. I've been thrilled at developments like having the Leading Your Church into Growth conference in October last year. We had over 100 people involved from a number of parishes, really good engagement, enthusiasm and a lot of inspiration through those few days together as we went away. The challenge, of course, for every ministry unit, every service, every gathering we have in the parishes, is this gathering geared for the newcomer, the outsider, the visitor? If I bring my friend to church next week, will there be something for them? The flip side of that can be, of course, that we talk a big game around mission action, but what is actually happening on a Sunday is very much a kind of in-house club type atmosphere that actually, if a newcomer were to come, if I were to invite my friend, they would feel really out of it. And so I think this next year or two will be about making sure as we move around the diocese, as we talk among ourselves, is what we're talking about actually being seen in action. Yeah, sure.
As you say, we can talk a big game, 15-page document, the DMAP, pass it at synod, but are we actually implementing the principles behind the DMAP? And the big principle, of course, as I see it, is the Missio Dei, which undergirds the DMAP. Tell us about the Missio Dei. What is that?
Well, it's a wonderful Latin phrase, but it is a way of connecting what we're thinking about mission with thinking about mission through 2,000 years of the Church's history. So the Missio Dei is the mission of God, and it's a salutary reminder, of course, that when we talk about mission, it's not all up to us. God is at work in the world, and Missio Dei prompts us to say, how may we join in, participate in, extend the reach of the mission of God. God will keep working in our world even if we shut up shop and did nothing more tomorrow.
Absolutely.
But wouldn't it be exciting to not do that, but to actually say, God, how can I be available to you and help? How can we, the church in this place, be part of the Missio Dei? But I think Missio Dei is also a reminder that it's the mission of God in the sense of it's mission about God. Sometimes we say, well, we're involved in mission because we reach out to our community. We've got food parcels available or whatever. They're really good and often very necessary things. But Missio Dei invites us to consider what are the ways in which what we're doing in the name of the God of love also speak about and speak to and name the God of love. So Missio Dei, in what way are we participating in the mission of God? And in what way are we able to draw other people to make a connection with God as we do that missional work?
Okay, that's great. In a practical vein, my role, the Archdeacon of Regeneration Mission, was established over a year ago now, and I'm available as a resource person across the diocese. I'd love people to call me up and say, how can I help resource and offer some expertise, shall we say, or experience for local parishes. What would you say to parish clergy as they relate to me and my role?
First of all, I'm incredibly grateful for all the signs that are there that most of our clergy, not just once, but more than once, have contacted you and asked for your help, your advice, you're coming to meet with the vestry, you're bringing some kind of training opportunity into the life of a parish. I ask that every ministry unit is connected to you in one way or another, because I think your role is to encourage everyone, to support everyone, to train everyone, but it's also, I think, to make sure that we're kind of moving together according to the same plan at roughly the same speed, so there's a sense in which we're together in this development of a diocesan mission action plan and its implementation.
That's great. I spent a very encouraging morning on Saturday at Linwood Aranui Parish with Brenda Bonnet and her team, and we talked about the DMAP, we talked about the local expression of mission that the parish is sort of working on, and it was exciting, it was energising, it was fantastic, and it kind of brought together a lot of ideas and experiences locally, and we were able to come up with a small number of what I've called missional imperatives or missional priorities, and that's, I think, has been really helpful, and that's just one example of many I could give. But there are, as you say, other parishes that I haven't quite engaged with too much, and I'd love to be able to get together with them in this new year.
That'd be great, and I think what you're illustrating in that story about Linwood Aranui is that meeting with you as a facilitator, as a catalyst, is not for you to be telling a parish, here are 50 things you must do by tomorrow. It's actually helping the parish to name maybe just 3 or 4 things that are actually very achievable within the next few months or the course of this year. So we encourage every parish to be involved in mission action planning, but we're very friendly in the way we do it.
Absolutely. And that's the way it ought to be. Probably time to close off. Thank you so much again for your time. If you, the viewer, found this video helpful, please like it and send it off to others. And don't forget, it is a glorious and exciting mission that God has called us all into, and it's so thrilling to be part of God's exciting mission in our diocese. Thank you.